Welcome to Pyar, Pyaar, Pyaar, the Swaddle series exploring the evolution of filmy romance. The great Indian class divide has long served as the romantic hurdle that young lovers have to cross in their journey to their happily ever after. But how has this divide manifested on screen through the decades? In Raj Kapoor's final speech on Avara, in a room filled with law enforcement officials, he says,
कातिल बनने के बाद कम से कम इतनी आजादी तो मिली कि अपनी आवाज आपके कानों तक पहुंचा सके.
As he says his bit, his childhood friend Rita acts as his love-stricken lawyer who takes his side against her adoptive father. Yeah, her love overcomes the class divide between them, makes her look past Raj's crimes, violence, anger, theft, and attempt to murder to unconditionally take up the cause for his redemption. वो कहते हैं ना, प्यार अंधा होता है? This film has been described as Raj Kapoor's first fairy tale treatment of class division in India. A description which makes sense when you see the romantic idealism and unrealistic social situations in the film. It is unrealistic that Raj's real identity as an upper class man is central to the plot. It is unrealistic that Rita goes against everything to prove the innocence of a man she's met after years. And even using the court-imposed sentence as a barometer for real justice is unrealistic. But though the film was idealistic, it did place class struggles at the center of the narrative. It was the 1950s, India had just gained freedom and लोगों में बदलाव लाने का जज्बा था. Filmmakers like Raj Kapoor, Mehboob Khan and B.R. Chopra helped with nation building in a new India by exploring socio-political issues of the time in their films. But in the 60s, post the Indo-China War, the idealism began to fade away and Shammi Kapoor had a unique way of dealing with the blues. इनफैक्ट बॉलीवुड वाले रोमांस और पहाड़ों का आइकॉनिक रिश्ता तो 60s में ही शुरू हुआ था. सिनेमा chose to shift base to the typical राजेश खन्ना शर्मिला टैगोर romance in the hills.
हम और तुम और हम खुश हैं यूं आज मिलके.
The focus changed from social realities to emotional explorations using the masala formula. फिर आए हमारे angry young man, the urban working class, apparently caste agnostic hero, the sole messiah of the masses, ever ready to unleash divine justice upon the rich and greedy. This was the national hero everyone wanted in the face of the political upheavals of the decade.
तुम लोग मुझे ढूंढ रहे हो और मैं तुम्हारा यहाँ इंतजार कर रहा हूँ.
But writer Kufir Nalgundwar points out that most of Bachchan's characters have hints of upper caste lineage. Meanwhile, the social causes his characters fought for were far from most Savarna men's realities. Writer Yogesh Maitre argues that the angry young man's anger is in fact borrowed from Dalits and the Dalit Panthers in particular. They were the disadvantaged minority actually engaging in action and demanding social change, which Bachchan's casteless characters adopted for conflict on screen. At the same time, the great Indian middle class emerged with the cinema of filmmakers like Hrishikesh Mukherjee and Basu Chatterjee exploring issues like classism through comedy.
ये मैम साहब, इस तरह चौकीदार के साथ बैठ के हंसना ठीक नहीं है.
In the 1980s and 90s, class disparity as a romantic hurdle became a popular formula with films like Betab, Chandni, Dil and Maine Pyar Kiya. It's a cliche that played out in different ways, usually with the grand power of love triumphing over everything. You know, like it happens in real life. Ishq was yet another film which explored the age-old trope of class dynamics interfering with young love. A mega blockbuster at the time of its release, the film is a subtle exploration of the rich versus poor narrative.
साला गरीब कहीं का.
Subtle.
तौबा तौबा तौबा, घिस घिस के नहाना पड़ा, तब कहीं बदबू गई मेरे बदन से गरीबी की.
So subtle. An idealistic view of half-baked love, crooked schemes to set the lovers apart, them reuniting in the end and their fathers repenting and being forgiven after the lengths that they go to. These are all typical features of a Bollywood masala film. Good class representation though, that this film is a far cry from. But there is something inherently disruptive about the subversion achieved through romantic love. Think about it. These films tell us that दुनिया के सबसे practically important things, that is दौलत, शौहरत and विरासत, are secondary to only one thing: प्यार. Post-liberalization, as Indian markets opened up and the middle class collectively began dreaming of consuming more and climbing upwards, the lens shifted. Political theorist Harish Wankhede points out that Bollywood essentially distanced itself from dealing with social responsibilities and moved to explorations that would appeal to a global audience, almost mirroring Hollywood. By the late 2000s, in the attempt to portray internal conflict and confused sensibilities, love stories found themselves stuck in similar tropes, ghisa-pita plot trajectories, and no real class representation. And amidst this bleakness, there was a love story that made Bollywood sit up and take notice. Nagraj Manjule's Marathi film Sairat gave us an intercaste romance that paints a visceral critique of the caste system in India. Caste is the foundation of our society. It's a reality that you need to have a special talent to avoid. Bollywood has that talent, I don't. The only divide in Bollywood is of class, Manjule says when questioned about what made Sairat work. There is no denying that even contemporary Bollywood shies away from caste representation in most films. Even when there is an exploration of caste, there seems to be an upper class, upper caste Hindu man playing the savior. But Sairat's incredible box office run made Bollywood sit up and take notice. Sairat was remade into Dhadak by Dharma Productions. When the couple runs away, they have to spend nights at a bus stop, eventually having to make do with a house in a slum. Archie adjusts to the living conditions as Persia makes exceptions for her. Despite everything that comes their way, they persevere together. In contrast, Dhadak positions both characters as being financially well off. This alters the nature of the struggles they face. They stay at a hostel in Kolkata with a shared bathroom, and the rent for 2 months has been paid by his maternal uncle. While here too their love perseveres, it seems shallow because of the relative lack of hardship. The visual language of Sairat has caste intertwined in it in the most minute ways, while people have to explicitly mention caste in Dhadak for the viewer to remember.
बावला मत बन, इतना भी भोला नहीं है तू। वो लोग ऊंची जाति के हैं, दूर रह इनसे।
A large part of the debate about whether Bollywood might be losing relevance today is about its inability to balance the desire to evolve with retaining what made the masala film work for the masses. Bollywood's theme of romance through class disparity is definitely one for the ages. Through its various explorations, hope always occupies the center. Hope to see the perseverance of the one thing that has the power to overcome all hardship: Pyaar. So maybe all we really need to see are just more honest and authentic explorations of this sentiment.
अगर तुम शांति प्रिया सुपरस्टार की बजाय शांति प्रिया सुपर जूनियर आर्टिस्ट भी होती, तो भी मैं तुमसे इतना ही प्यार करता।
What kind of class representation do you hope to see in Bollywood films? Tell us in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the Swaddle for more.